Hey, welcome back. It's been a little bit since I've put a video out. I've just been really busy with work and family, and I just need to ease myself back into it again. This happens every once in a while, especially this time of year when I start finishing up a term and have to start putting things together for grades. Anyways, this week's pre-orders have been announced. That these were announced yesterday. We're going to get the rest of the Astra Militarum, the Guard, and you get the combat patrol box right out the gate. Um, it's Cadia stands with no book and no cards at a slightly lower price, although that price is up higher than normal combat patrols because these releases are going to see the first implementation of the new prices that GW announced last week, I believe. So these are going to be, according to the independent retailers, I think they're £95 and like 160 or 170 US, like 190, 200 Canadian in that range. So that is something to keep in mind. The price has gone up, you know, 10, $20, but it is still a good way to start. If you buy a couple of these, Guard are just always going to be expensive to get into. There's just nothing to be done about it, especially with the small unit sizes we get today. It's not like when I first started and there were 20-man plastic kits. Um, Newer Guard players don't have that option, so this might be the best way to get into it for anybody who's looking at the Guard. Next, we get a Castellan. He's our like main HQ that's like non-unique, and he's an officer. You need officers in your army. I do think going back to this, if you bought two of these, you can easily make a Castellan out of your second officer using all the bits, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just one more way to get value out of a GW kit. That's what we need to do when we buy these things is get maximum value. And I think instead of having two command platoons, just go with one command platoon and a Castellan, and avoid buying this guy. I hear his price is very high for a single model. Like I want to say like 35 US dollars or something. So really up there for a single model that's not special in any way other than he's an HQ. But you do need them in your army, I think. I think they're a really good option if you're going to run Cadians. Next up is a Commissar. Honestly, just go find a used Commissar unless you, for some reason, really like this model, which, no judgment if you do. I just don't think it's that great. He's the weakest Commissar they've released, I think, ever. Maybe something else could be worse than him, but I don't think so. I think this guy is the worst Commissar by quite a wide margin. It's nice to have multi-part plastic kits, but frankly, with this up and down pose, I mean, there's not much you can do to really fix him. Plus, he has a tiny hat, and I mean, a Commissar with a tiny hat may as well just stay home. I want to see. I'm looking at a Commissar right now, and he's just so much better, and he's got to be 35 years old. So I just disappointed in this Commissar in general. He's the same price as the Castellan, I believe. I mean, they're going to sell like 9 of these, probably in total across the globe. Because honestly, the Commissars are nice, but there's way better ways to get Commissars. Again, going back to this, I am sure between all these guys, you can come up with a Castellan and a Commissar, especially once we get down here a bit to the upgrade kit, which we'll talk about in a moment. Then we've got Attilan Rough Riders. Just it's nice to see them back. These are super nice models. Not sold on them as a battlefield unit, but I do think they have potential. I think that it's just a case of GW needs to drop their points a bit. And hopefully that's something we see coming up in the next points update. I think if they went down to 15 points a model, they'd be okay. Just because they are quite strong, but they're very, very easy to kill. So hopefully a little bit of a points decrease for these guys later. But as far as models go, super nice. And then there's the Cadian upgrades. Not much to say. It's heads, it's arms, it's guns, it's bits and bobs. It's just stuff to make your guys look cool. There's this new Knight Commander Pask looking dude Nothing wrong with that. So it's a good kit. It's just, again, going to be really pricey. I definitely suggest picking one of these to start with if you're interested and see if you need more than one. Um, a lot of these things, I don't know, probably don't want tons of these repeated in your army. These would be fine. These are really cool. I wish there was just a way to get like 20 of these. I think these are great looking, and it'd be cool if there was more of them available to us. But, I personally can't justify, buying one of these kits for every squad of guardsmen I own, not for 6 heads. Um, but again, really good stuff, and some pieces in here you could use to make your custom officers and commissars and whatnot. So, again, something to keep in mind. Then we got the Aegis defense line. I don't know. The rules are okay. It's a defense line. We've had them before. It's got some weird issues with the way it's written. I think they call it area terrain, and I mean, other than this one piece, I don't see how it's area terrain. But, you know, I'm sure that'll get FAQ'd or something. I don't think our books had any FAQs yet. Not that I've heard of, at least. And yeah, I mean, I like the old one better. That's just me. I think a lot of that too is just because the value is better. I think if they had painted this differently, I think it would look also a lot better, like a green color, military green, Cadian green, whatever you want to call it. It would have brought it out a little bit more, but otherwise, I mean, it's not bad. It's an Aegis defense line. It's a little wall set. Um, it's not as good as the old one, but I mean, if you don't have the old one, this is an option. So, something to keep in mind. And then there's a bunch of books and this one guy who's like a character from a book. He's pretty nice looking. I do like him the way they've got him painted up. He's a white consul, I think they're called. Is that what they're called? Do they say his name? Yeah, the White Consuls. Captain Messinius of the White Consuls. He's a pretty cool model. Not one that I'm interested in. But, I mean, if I was going to run a Space Marine Legion, I kind of like these guys. It's got like a cool like mix of the White Scars and the Ultramarines. And that's pretty good in my opinion. Those are two of the cooler looking legions. And I think they kind of mesh together really well. And there's a whole bunch of books. I'm not going to get into them. This is cool. If you're into like the super fancy novels they put out, the special editions, this one does seem really nice. I love the binding. I love this like, hand drawn battle map thing. It's pretty sweet. It's just in general, just a bunch of books. This one looks pretty good. That's interesting. Um, something I might look at. I don't know, but we'll see. And then yeah, just some more books. So it's like basically this whole page is like half books and half the rest of the guard. So nice stuff to see. Unfortunate to see that the prices are going to hit us first as guard players, but it was coming anyways. It sucks that it's happening, but 1 or 2 weeks early isn't really that big of a deal because not everybody was going to go rush out first day anyways. Um, it is what it is. Anyways, thanks for watching, and if you have any thoughts or comments, leave them down below, and have a great day.